There's a story that goes round, I don't know how true it is, of the pastor of a big church disguising himself as a homeless man and sitting outside the church building for a couple of Sunday mornings to see how the congregation would react to him. To test and see if the message of love your neighbour he'd preached was reaching outside the doors. It's easy, he told the church, to love and care for those who are like us, who we have lots in common with. It's much harder to love those whose lives are different, those who others in our society might ignore or push away. Each day this week we're going to think a little about how God welcomes everyone and how his church should too. We're starting with the story of Peter. Peter was a fisherman who Jesus called to follow him. And the night Jesus was arrested, Peter promised he would never betray Jesus, never let him down. But Jesus knew differently. Later that same night, Peter denied any connection with Jesus, not once but 3 times. He could not, would not, stand with the one that he had called Lord and Master for 3 years. In John 21, we find out what happens after Jesus has risen. When they finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" "Yes, Lord," he said, "you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my lambs." Again, Jesus said, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He answered, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Take care of my sheep." The 3rd time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the 3rd time, "Do you love me?" He said, "Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." 3 times Peter let Jesus down. 3 times Jesus asks if he loves him and he says he does. 3 times Jesus instructs Peter to take care of the sheep. And when Jesus talks about the sheep, he means all those who follow him, what would become the church. Jesus takes this uneducated fisherman who had let him down on the most dreadful night of his life and puts him in charge to lead, to love, to look after all of Jesus' followers. God welcomes everyone, even those who have let him down. Jesus welcomes you. There is a place for you in his church, no matter what you may have done. Even if you feel like you've let God down, even if you feel like you're not worthy to be loved and accepted, there's a place for you. The church was built for you, for people like you. There is a role for you to play here. Church is for everyone.